Hello everyone, and welcome back to Silent Hill 3. I am DarkChiron. Last time we made our way to the Lakeside Amusement Park. We got through the poorly haunted mansion, and we've entered this new part of the park. This video is going to be fairly short. There wasn't really I couldn't really think of a better way to break all of this up in a good fashion, and if we get too much further in the game, there's going to be a big long stretch that I don't want to break up again, so we're going to create a small little mini video here that has some important stuff in it. Like the Cinderella doll. No, the Cinderella doll and the Snow White doll are not the important bit, but they are a puzzle that's going to be in our way here. And as you can see, these photos are of dolls that we just saw, but it seems like pieces are missing from what their layout is. Like the Cinderella one is obviously missing the shoe, and the Snow White one is missing what can be assumed to be an apple, given the story that goes along with her, of course. However, we don't have an apple. We use a shoe on Cinderella. It's not a glass slipper, but it's serviceable, I suppose. And for Snow White, my apologies, we don't have an apple, but we do have an apple-sized object, which is this creepy head doll. And that should suffice. And the benefit of that was, it unlocked this door. Ooh. Yep, dragon that guards the treasure. However, Heather doesn't feel he's scary. I don't know. He's pretty freaky, man. Look at that. It's pretty scary, right? Sure. Maybe I'm just a sissy. Yeah. Okay. Obviously not a automated door. Okay, lots of monsters here, but as per usual, we will ignore them. There's something more important for us to look at right now. This note right here. This note should sound a little bit familiar to those familiar with the series. Well, not familiar, but you should know what it's talking about. Okay. Dahlia's the one who said it. Said that that girl was a demon. That she took my daughter for a sacrifice. But it's not totally believable. I mean, appearances can be deceiving. When I saw that photo in the hospital basement, I thought, that girl looks like Cheryl. Is that why I feel this way? Something's not normal anyway. Nothing good will come of this, but I just can't think of her as a demon. Is it my imagination, or do I actually feel sorry for her? Why do I feel like she's looking for someone to help? Cheryl's what's important to me. Everything else can be wait until I've gotten her back. Yep, this is dated and signed 17 years ago by Harry Mason, our Heather's father. Yeah, this is the note that he left back when he was in Silent Hill, being misled by Dahlia to try to stop Alessa. If you remember from our retrospective, him coming to the amusement park was right before he stopped Alessa from putting the last seal down. So at this point in time in Silent Hill 1, he still believed that Alessa was a demon creature. He did not know the truth, that Cheryl was a reincarnation of Alessa, and Alessa was trying to stop the evils that were happening. So, if you also remember from that, what he was here to do was to try and save Sybil. And what that ended up actually happening was Sybil got possessed by demons, and Harry fought her on a carousel. And here we have a carousel. The same one from Silent Hill 1. Now, nothing bad's going to happen. Don't pay no attention to the fact that I'm switching weapons. Everything's fine. Let's read the sign. The Happy Carousel Enter. Is this a bit of English, or... I'm not quite sure. And Heather has the wonderful little quip here, of course, the unhappy carousel. Yes, that's what they mean. And as we step on, it activates. Let's read the memo pinned to this horse. When 13 turns count 4, you will die from their curse. If you wish to escape, there is but one way out. To kill before you are killed, you will be saved by the 12th death. And if we look at this horse is the only one that's not moving. Is it because it was stabbed in the head? Yes, and that's our clue. These horses are all quote-unquote alive, and they have this smoke coming out of their mouths. Yeah, so the idea is there's 13 of these horses, and if we let them go around too many times, we die. So the idea is kill them. I prefer them all for this. It kills them in 2 to 3 hits. You can tell when they die because they say their scream is different. I'll be quiet once and let you hear it. Yeah, that scream means that they're dead. And this is rather dull and boring. They don't fight back. There's nothing going on here. So we'll go ahead and cut to when all of them are dead. And that's that. All horses have been stopped. However, they will start back up here in a second. Yep, there they go. And we're going to want to switch weapons again. Once again, no reason, don't mind me. And with that, we now have the mysterious cult chanting, and we are apparently on a nightmare version of the carousel, which I thought was already nightmared, but apparently we even further nightmared it. And much like Harry, we must fight our own possessed creature. This time it's a version of us, the memory of Alessa. She has our weaponry and our abilities, so she can block attacks and attack us back. So the best option, if she'll come over here, is to just block. Oh, okay, block with good timing. If she runs away from you, her back is open. If you try to attack her in the front, she'll mostly just block you. So the idea is, if you don't suck, to either swing when you think she's going to swing and interrupt her swing, or block and then counterattack her. Either method works, and you don't have to use a katana. You can use other weapons if you wish. One of the guys I looked up said that they liked using the maul against her, which I don't even know how the hell you would do that weapon. But I think if you attack and counterattack proficiently, you can hit her. And with that, she's dead. Easy boss fight, right? Not so much. I was just joshing you guys. Yeah, so she died once, but now she has respawned with a pistol. Once again, she can block, and now she can shoot you. A much better option is for you to simply get close enough up to her where she tries to pistol whip you, and get her stuck in that, because you do not want to get in a shooting match with her. You want to try to avoid a war of attrition, if you can manage it. Much better to make her take all the damage and you block all the damage. And it's also worth noting that the counterattack method is a little bit unreliable at times because she doesn't always stagger when you hit her. I know she has thus far in this fight, but sometimes she won't stagger, and that makes it really difficult to not take damage on this fight. Okay, third form. She now has a steel pipe. She does way more damage than the knife version did. However, she also attacks slower because pipe. If I could see if she stopped running away from me. This version is much easier to counterattack with the katana because she's a much slower swinger now. As I say that as I screw up attacking her. However, she also seems to stagger far less in this form while she's swinging. But she does do that a lot. Wow, she's making it really easy on me. Usually she doesn't let you just button mash to kill her. Usually she'll block everything. I don't know why she's running away from me so often, and she usually won't do that. She usually will stand her ground fairly well in this form. Also, notice how much damage I had taken. That was, what, 3 or 4 pipe hits, and I was almost dead. So that form is very dangerous. But here is her most dangerous form yet, at least if you don't get close to her. She has a submachine gun now, and the damn camera will not face her. So try and keep horses between you and her, especially when you hear her cock the gun and start pointing the gun at you. That's a bad sign for you. Once again, the objective here is to just get close enough to her to where she wants to pistol whip you, or I guess machine gun whip you, and counterattack her. Yeah, I was just screwing up my timing. Yeah, if you block and she doesn't swing, there's a long delay before you can block again. So keep that in mind. If you screw up your block timing, that's when she'll get you. See, she's standing her ground now, but this version, the gun versions are usually the versions where she runs away more often. I'm not sure why she switched up her AI in this particular fight. Yep, see, I screwed up my timing. And with that, she's dead for good. No more fading away in pools of blood. Just dead. And just completely disappeared. And we have control back of our character. And we have a note. It would be better for myself to die. After all, it's nothing to be afraid of. That child, that demon, when I think of the endless pain it will bring when it is birthed, I decided that instead of the suffering and cruelty I endured in that sick room, that I would like to bestow a more gentle and peaceful death on myself. Why do I resist? I never thought of myself as such a fool. And yes, obviously, this note is from Alessa. Yeah, the whole duality of your personality here is a little bit bizarre. The fact that you have multiple iterations of yourself, all with different lives and experiences, it makes it a little bit bizarre to keep track of everything and to understand that the you in your previous life, because of their environment and how they were raised, came to different beliefs than the you that you are now. If that made sense, yeah. Yep. And Heather once again confirms that she does in fact have most of the memories that Alessa does. She does remember all that stuff that happened. However, she's not being affected by it like Alessa was. And we're running in a creepy, squishy hallway made of meat walls, I think. Isn't that great? Camera, come on now. Work with me here. Alright. Stained by the evils of this world, we hold our sorrows within us. Only you can heal us these wounds. Each morning, afternoon, evening, and night, we call out your name and pray for the day of the miraculous descent. Yeah, this is the pathway to the church that we're trying to find, and this is apparently a prayer to the God of the church. I give to you unreservedly my body and my eternal soul. Whatever darkness may befall me, I will endure with you beside me. That sounds wonderful. As proof of your miraculous power, guide our obedient and willing souls to the road of paradise, O Lord. We will not give in to the power of temptation as long as we have you in our hearts. Yep, you don't want to be corrupted and swayed from the path of God. O Lord, save us with your compassion. O Lord, shower us with your blessings. O Lord, favor us with your abundance. And knowing what I know of the God of this church, I don't feel the people worshiping have an actually accurate representation of what the God's intentions are or what they want to do with the world. Just based off experience. And we have more notes on the door. Okay. This door is the gate which leads to the road of paradise. Embrace the bosom of the Holy Mother. Admit your sins and be forgiven. Eternal tranquility can be yours. And keep in mind, whenever this church references the Holy Mother, they're talking about Alessa.
How did you get here? It was Vincent, wasn't it? He led you here. When will he cease his meddling? But it's just as well. Luring you here also serves my purposes.
Checkmate.
Not yet. The time is not yet at hand. The time when all will be forgiven their sins. When the paradise we have long dreamed for will arrive. After the judgment and atonement, an eternity of bliss. Oh, Alessa, the world you wanted is nearly here.
That's not what I want.
Not you. Alessa, your true self.
But I am Alessa. My little Claudia, my dear sweet sister.
Alessa, is it you? Oh, how I've missed you.
I don't need another world. It's fine the way it is.
But you said it yourself. The world must first be cleansed with fire.
But that's not what I want now.
Alessa, don't you want happiness? Have you become blind to all the hopeless suffering in the world? We all need God's salvation.
Listen, suffering is a fact of life. Either you learn how to deal with that or you go under. You can stay in your own little dream world, but you can't keep hurting other people. Besides, I'll never forgive you for hurting my father.
I wish only for the salvation of mankind. But for that to happen, the world must first be remade. And for that, we need God.
You self-righteous witch! No one asked you to help!
God is growing within you. You despise me, don't you?
You're damned right I do!
That's good.
Okay, with that, a couple of things that are worth pointing out and noting. Claudia only knew Alessa only really spoke to Alessa pre being burned horribly in that ritual that her mother tried to conduct on her. And because of that, Claudia's ideas about what Alessa wants and desires are a little bit behind the times. I think Alessa's viewpoints about the world and the things that needs to happen have changed since then. Another thing to point out is that we had an attack from the God Baby, like in the past. However, there's no otherworld changes that happened. So maybe later I'll discuss how the baby God attacks in Alessa and Heather's womb are not directly linked to the otherworld shifts, and that'll be a point that I'll bring up later in a supplemental video. Anyway, we're gonna go ahead and save here. As I said, this one will be a short one, and we're going to start digging into the chapel and the church of the god that Claudia worships, and we'll and that will take some time, and I don't want to break all of that up. It'll start with examining this room. There's lots in this room to read. So anyway, also on a little technical side note, I guess you might notice the frame rate here is complete garbage. That's because I'm rendering all of the textures and lighting and all of that stuff at maximum settings, and that apparently bogs my system down. However, if I lower the system down to a lower resolution so that everything doesn't look quite as nice, but the frame rate stays at 60 frames per second, it adds scan lines to the video and makes it look like garbage like all the time. So we'll just have to, I apologize, but we'll just have to put up with the slightly lower frame rates in certain sections of the game. Anyway, that's all. I'm done with rambling, and I appreciate you all watching, and I'll see you next time.